Beautiful day in Philadelphia. Temperatures in the mid-60s. Somewhat of a wind and partly cloudy skies as we're set to go. Cardinals and the Eagles. And right now, let's send it down to the third member of our team, Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, with Deshaun Jackson being inactive today, this Eagles team is looking for two players in particular to step up big: Jason Avant and Brent Selleck. Now, Michael Vick says Avant is a player he really loves. He appreciates his consistency and his work ethic. Avant was the first player out here on the field for warm-ups. Selleck, meanwhile, is a guy who's really been turning on his game lately, both in terms of blocking and in catching the ball. He told me in pregame warm-ups that while he wishes Deshaun was here, he assures me this entire Eagles team is ready to step up and pull up the slack. Dick?
All right, Jennifer, you saw Randall Cunningham, a former Eagle quarterback who was honored, and there's Andy Reid, who told us, you know, if we don't have multiple turnovers, we're going to win. Not just one, but if he has more than one turnover, this team really has struggled to the tune of 1 and 5.
He's right. That's what's been ailing this team. And Ken Wisenhunt, on the other hand, they start their year out with the win, lose 6 straight. Stop the bleeding, as Larry Fitzgerald said last week, with a tough, hard-fought win in overtime versus the St. Louis Rams.
The Cardinals have won the toss, and they will receive. LaRod Stevens-Howling will be back to return the kick from Alex Henry, the rookie from Nebraska. Eagles come in at 3 and 5. 3 games behind the first-place Giants, who have a tremendous game later on Fox against the 49ers. Stevens-Howling brings it back and is cut short of the 15-yard line. And a good play by Colt Anderson of the Eagles on special teams. So let's see what the Cardinals do with John Skelton. You mentioned that he was tall at 6'6". 5th-round pick out of Fordham last year, and his 3 wins have all been at home. So let's see what he does on the road.
Cobb, but they may be better off, the Cardinals, with John Skelton, more familiar with the offense that he's running.
First down, and the handoff to Beanie Wells. Been bothered by a sore knee, and Wells picking up 3 yards, tackled by Brian Roll. Let's take a look at the rest of the offense. And of course, Larry Fitzgerald, the big target there, and Jeff King is starting at tight end. They have a couple of injuries at the tight end position, and the offensive line key in protecting Skelton today.
And frankly, that's where they've struggled. The tackles have both struggled to protect. The Cardinals told us they'd be keeping people in, tight ends, backs to chip and help in the protection. 2nd
down and 7. And again, it's Wells up the middle, and he'll be about 2.5 yards shy of the first down, picking up 5. Let's take a look at the Eagles defense. 18th in scoring defense. They've gotten good pressure up front. The linebackers may be questionable to some extent, and everyone talks about the secondary.
Well, this is where they struggle, the linebacker unit. They're young, they're small. The secondary loaded with talent with the corners, Asamoah and Asante Samuel.
Jaquan Jarrett, the rookie, making his first NFL start with Nate Allen at free safety out with concussion. Stevens-Howling is the 3rd down back. On 3rd down and 3, Skelton with time, and the pass is knocked away by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, the former Cardinal, who induces the Cardinals to kick on the pass intended for Andre Roberts.
Well, that's a welcome sight for Andy Reid and any Philadelphia Eagle fan, because if you watch last week's game, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie was torched in the slot, a new position for him in the slot. Nice position. Uses those long arms to bat away the ball. Big stop for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Dave Zastudil with the punt, and Jeremy McClain going back to the 26 to return. Turning the corner, and a good play in the open field by the Cardinals. Hamza Abdullah prevents a further gain, and so a good special teams play. So Michael Vick coming on has lost 5 of his last 6 starts at home. Not up to what he did a year ago, and coming off his worst game of the year, but very impressive in practice on Friday, John.
Well, Dick, you saw it. I saw it. He put on the most impressive Friday practice I've seen from a quarterback in my years in this league. The ball touched the ground 1 time in practice. Michael felt good about it. We'll see what that confidence does for him today.
First down on the 33. Play action, throwing on first down. And the pass is caught by Brent Selleck, the reliable tight end. No, Owen Schmidt, the fullback, and they get about 8 yards on the play. Let's take a look at the rest of the offense for the Eagles. Steve Smith gets the start in place of Deshaun Jackson, and the former Giant who caught 107 passes back in '09.
And you look at the offensive line, if you think you see Moses Malone down there, that's not him. It's King Dunlap, 6'10", playing left guard, the largest, tallest left guard, offensive guard ever to play in the National Football League.
The days of faux with the Philadelphia 76ers. 2nd down and 2, and the quick flip is caught by Selleck, and a first down. And it takes several Cardinals to bring him down in Arizona territory at the 47. And a gain of 12 yards. Let's take a look at the Cardinals defense, and 29th in pass defense coming in against Michael Vick.
And Calais Campbell really asserting himself, having a great year. A young group of linebackers. Sam Acho, Saxon, 3 straight. Darrell Washington, probably the best player on this defense. And Patrick Peterson, we've seen him as a returner. Outstanding corner. He can be special as he continues to develop.
Andy Reid taking notice of his coverage ability back there. 1st and 10 on the 46 of Arizona. And here is LaShawn McCoy with his first carry. And the Cardinals are right there. Richard Marshall, the cornerback. And good penetration by Darrell Washington, one of the inside backers.
And I'll tell you, one of the things we're going to see today, Dick, with Deshaun Jackson out there, you see safeties playing back 20 yards. You're going to see the Arizona Cardinals crowd the line of scrimmage a little bit more, not having that speed threat, that all-out speed of Deshaun Jackson.
2nd down and 11. Loss of 1 on that running play. And they go again to McCoy, and McCoy is dropped by Washington. So Washington spearheading in early Cardinal defense. No gain, bringing up 3rd down and 11 for Michael Vick.
This is actually an area no offense wants to be in, these 3rd and longs, but it's actually an area that the Philadelphia Eagles really excel at. They're hitting it 35%, 2nd in the league to New Orleans on 3rd and 10 plus. Michael Vick's skills as a passer and using his legs allows him to be effective.
4 wide receivers, but they're all tight to the line of scrimmage. And a 2-man defensive front for the Cardinals, who pull back from the blitz. A 3-man rush it ends up. And here is Vick looking to run. And Michael Vick will go out of bounds. Stopped short of the first down by Richard Marshall, as he gets to the 39-yard line.
Well, Dick, you mentioned it. They rush 3. That means you've got 8 in coverage. When you've got 8 in coverage, you've got them outnumbered. Michael Vick tries to use his legs. The Cardinals do a nice job of coming up and stopping him before the first down.
But it'll be 4th down, and the Eagles will go for it on 4th down. And a short 2 on the 38-yard line of the Cardinals. First possession of the game for Philadelphia. Confidence that Andy Reid has in Michael Vick in delivering. Here's pressure. Vick having trouble and throws the ball away, and the Cardinals will take over on downs. And Calais Campbell put the pressure on, and a great stop by Arizona as they take over on downs when the Eagles go for it on 4th and 2.
On Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
I like the call by Andy Reid going for it on 4th and 2, but it's Calais Campbell and Sam Acho who actually, Brent Selleck is #1 option. Sam Acho kind of in the window of Steve Smith and Brent Selleck. They cover him up. Good job by the Arizona defense standing up on 4th and 2.
First down on the 38. Here's Skelton with the slant, and the pass is caught by Chancey Stuckey. Nnamdi Asamoah on the coverage, and 8 yards on the first down for the Cardinals. Last week, Skelton was the quarterback in the victory over the Rams, 19-13 in overtime. And it was the return on the punt in overtime by Patrick Peterson that won the game. 2nd down and 2. And the pitch is to Wells, and Wells is stopped short of the first down. Good play by Jaquan Jarrett. Jarrett played well coming in last week against the Bears when Nate Allen went out, and now with his first NFL start, second-round draft pick out of Temple, it'll be 3rd and 1 for Arizona.
And Dick, one thing we're seeing already, to me, Beanie Wells looks more healthy than he was last week. The St. Louis Rams were very effective in stopping him last week. 10 carries for 20 yards. He looks like he's cutting better, more healthy. Ken Wisenhunt told us he was. He's showing it on the field.
They say he'll never really be 100% with that bad knee, but he's in there anyway. And here is Wells on 3rd down and appears to have enough for the first down. And moving the chains for the Cardinals, and a flag is down. Our first penalty of the game. Walt Anderson is the referee.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, number 51, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Big penalty on Jamar Chaney, the middle linebacker, who has emerged as a leader in the linebacking corps, and that's going to give the Cardinals good yardage into Eagle territory, and they'll place it just beyond the 35 at the 37.
If I'm the Cardinals, you're having you're being effective thus far, running the ball right down the middle. To me, these Eagles, they're strong on the edges of their defense, not strong in the middle. Their linebackers are the weakness. I continue to try to exploit that.
Teams have been able to run on Philadelphia this year, and a first down at the 37. Skelton with the short drop, and the pass caught for the first down by Andre Roberts. Roberts tackled by Rogers Cromartie, picking up 16 yards. And the Cardinals are threatening here at the 21.
Well, this is a matchup they're going to try to exploit. Remember, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie played for the Arizona Cardinals. They know he's uncomfortable in the slot. Good throw by John Skelton to Andre Roberts. These guys have a great chemistry. Really important for the Arizona Cardinals that somebody other than Larry Fitzgerald steps up in their pass game.
So they've gone to Roberts more than Fitzgerald early on. He's the 3rd leading receiver on this club. First down, play action. Here comes the blitz, and the pass caught, and a good tackle made by Ante Samuel. Jeff King making the catch and picking up 3. Kurt Menefee with the game break, our first of the day.
And the first score of the day for the Dallas Cowboys against Buffalo. Watch Dez Bryant go up and pull this down from Romo. That kid's special, isn't he? 34-yard touchdown reception. Cowboys up 7-0 early. Dick and John.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Dallas 1 game ahead of the Eagles and 2 games behind the Giants, who play the 49ers later. 2nd down and 7 at the Eagle 18. And movement in the line, and the flag is thrown, and you saw the right side of the Eagle defense move, and they'll be called for offsides on the play. So the Eagles start off a little shaky.
Offsides, number 58.
And the penalty is against Trent Cole, so they failed to make it on 4th down on offense, and now backed up on defense.
Trent Cole, pretty easy to see this one. The hard count by John Skelton, the young quarterback going with the hard count. Gets Trent Cole.
Juan Castillo, the defensive coordinator, in his first year in that role. It'll be 2nd down and 2, and now the ball is at the 13. One wide receiver, and that's Larry Fitzgerald, lines up to the right. Handoff is to Wells, giving ground, and Wells will go down. It was finally Cullen Jenkins, but there was good penetration by Trent Cole, which set it up, and a loss of 5 yards. Good defensive play by the Eagles.
And you watch the penetration. It's going to start with Trent Cole right here, and then you're going to see great team defense. It's actually Roll, the linebacker, Brian Roll, who gets in the backfield, and then the rest of the posse comes. Great penetration by Brian Roll, staying on his feet, redirecting Beanie Wells.
So even after the 2 penalties, it is 3rd down and 6, and the crowd rising to the occasion. Ball at the 17. Skelton has plenty of time here, but doesn't have a receiver open. And he fires this out of the end zone, and that was a great coverage play by the Eagles. Fitzgerald was the intended receiver, and 4th down coming up.
Well, this is the matchup I've been excited to see. Nnamdi Asomugha, their high-priced free agent corner, in press coverage. What he does best against Larry Fitzgerald, he has help. with Jaquan Jarrett. John Skelton throws it away. Good coverage by the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
So Jay Feely is on to try to give the Cardinals the lead. He is 8 for 11 on the season. This will be a 35-yard try. And Feely's kick is no good as he hooks it. A big miss by the Cardinals after holding the Eagles on 4th down, missing the field goal. Big opportunity goes by the boards for the Cardinals.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Well, this is why you go hard all the time. Watch Derek Landry with the inside pressure. Kickers feel this. I've talked to kickers. They feel it. That pressure inside can affect a kick like that. Great job by Derek Landry of penetrating on the field goal block.
First down as the Eagles get it back, and Vick loses his footing. But he can make something out of nothing, and this pass is incomplete. Steve Smith starting this game in place of Deshaun Jackson. And penetration again by Darrell Washington. He's getting his way into the backfield of this Philly team.
Well, this is what Michael Vick can do to you, and Darrell Washington's learning firsthand. I thought he had him. He doesn't. Michael Vick actually puts a great football in the hands of Steve Smith, and Steve Smith filling in for Deshaun Jackson. You got to catch that football.
You know, John, that was a bad miss on the field goal because you're on the road. You're playing with your second-string quarterback. You don't know how many chances you're going to get that far downfield.
No doubt.
Ronnie Brown is in the game at running back, and the toss to the outside and a good tackle on Jeremy Maclin made by Michael Adams, limiting Maclin to a gain of 2.
And that's so important. You just hit on a big point for the Arizona Cardinals, tackling in space. The Philadelphia Eagles are so athletic. Not just Deshaun Jackson, who's not playing today. Jeremy Maclin, Selleck, LaShawn McCoy. These guys are tough to tackle in space. If these guys are successful, they'll have tackled well at the end of the day.
Eagles have not been an assured team. They were against the Redskins and Cowboys, but basically have not played cohesively most of this year. And most of their losses, of course, have come in the fourth quarter. 3rd down and 10. And here is Vick again, but plenty of time. Drills it, and this pass broken up. Maclin this time was defended by Adrian Wilson. Maclin took quite a hit from Adrian Wilson, who's a hard-hitting, strong safety, as you were, my friend.
And Jeremy Macklin's feeling it right now. Michael Vick puts a really nice football on Jeremy Maclin. Clean hit by Adrian Wilson. Deshaun Jackson already out. Jeremy Maclin hurting for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Take a timeout. 5:09 remaining in the first. No score.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Chase, don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom.
Back here in Philadelphia, that's Patrick Peterson, who has scored the winning touchdowns on punt returns in both of Arizona's wins. Last week, 99 yards in overtime against the Rams. #1 pick from LSU, and Peterson calling for the ball at the 19, and down he goes. So not a chance to get away. Colt Anderson.
Adrian Wilson says the NFL's not getting in my pocket. Turns his shoulder, does what a safety's supposed to do. Lets him know they aren't catching it in his area. Jeremy Maclin walked off on his own power, and now he's walking into the locker room. So at this point, the Eagles have 3 wide receivers. That's all they've got active right now if Maclin doesn't get back. First down at the 26 for the Cardinals. Beanie Wells hit at the line of scrimmage by Trevor Laws and down. No gain on the play. Well, this December, 2 of the most storied conferences in college football culminate their seasons with 2 epic championship games for the first time in their history. And Fox Sports will bring them to you on back-to-back nights. The Pac-12 championship game Friday, December 2nd, and the Big Ten championship game is Saturday, December 3rd. Both games are only on Fox Sports. They gave Wells 1 yard. Play action for Skelton this time downfield and overthrowing Larry Fitzgerald, bringing up 3rd down and 9. talking about two big-time players, and this is where they should have Nnamdi Asomugha. This is what you call hot dog coverage. Wherever Larry Fitzgerald goes, Nnamdi, you go along with him. If he goes to the stands, gets a hot dog, you go with him. That's what I'd be telling Nnamdi today. I think they ought to keep him on Larry Fitzgerald all day long.
Because you get to eat the hot dog.
Yeah, you can do that too.
3rd down and 9. Skelton in trouble. And Skelton throws the ball away. Very smart play by Skelton. Good quarterback pressure by Cheney and Roll as we check in now with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, we just watched Macklin walk into the locker room. I've just received word that the injury is to his right shoulder. Don't know if he's going to return yet or not. The Eagle training staff is trying to make that decision as they further evaluate the injury and what it means. Dick, John?
All right, thank you very much. And Eagles limited in wide receivers, and punting is Dave Zastadil. Steve Smith back to return and falls for the fair catch at the 34-yard line. 4:05 remaining in the first quarter after the 39-yard punt by Zastadil. A review of the key inactives in this game. Kevin Cobb, of course, the ex-Eagles, circled this state on his calendar, unable to go, and 3 starters for the Eagles. And again, DeSean Jackson missing a team meeting yesterday morning and benched by Andy Reid. It'll be a first down at the 34 for Michael Vick, and his quick release incomplete to Riley Cooper. So it's Cooper, Macklin, who's away. So Cooper, Avant, and Smith are really the 3 wide receivers that Vick can throw to now.
And we've seen drops from Riley Cooper and Steve Smith now. These guys are going to have to hold on to the football and make some plays because you don't have Macklin. You don't have DeSean Jackson. These guys have to step up for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And Smith and Cooper both lined up to the right on 2nd down and 10. Vick on the rollout. Gets chased and wide open and missing Brent Selleck, who had beaten the defense by about 8 yards downfield. And Michael Vick missed the tight end, and the crowd reverberates with their displeasure.
Well, this was a shot that they dialed up in practice the other day. It worked like a charm, and Michael Vick's got Brent Selleck wide open. Kind of drags across the line of scrimmage. Vick rolls the other way. Vick's got a touchdown if he hits Brent Selleck. Got to make that play, Michael Vick.
And the closest to him was the linebacker, Paris Leonard. So now 3rd down and 10 for the Eagles on their 34. Rocky beginning for them on both sides, and Vick being chased gets away, and his pass is incomplete. And it was Riley Cooper and A.J. Jefferson defending, and 4th down coming up.
Cardinals flush Michael Vick. Good coverage downfield. Michael Vick's had drops. He's missed throws. The Eagles sputtering on offense thus far without DeSean Jackson and now Jeremy Macklin.
Vick now 3 for 9 for 21 yards, and the dangerous Patrick Peterson back. Jazz Henry will be kicking for the Eagles.
Andy Reid told us this week, way up high or to the peanut vendor. You don't want the ball on Patrick, and there's a low kick to Patrick Peterson.
Not high at all. And Peterson with a burst of speed, but when you've got good coverage, you kind of make up for all of that, and that was Akeem Jordan after the 47-yard punt. So John Skelton, the 2nd-year quarterback, comes back to work.
Andy Reid made a tough decision sitting DeSean Jackson, but other people have to step up. Steve Smith had that opportunity. He dropped the ball. You move on to Riley Cooper. Michael Vick delivers a dart. Riley Cooper drops the ball, and there's the frustration. Someone's got to step up at the wide receiver position for Michael Vick and these Philadelphia Eagles, and Michael Vick's got to hit the open receivers. He missed Selleck on the last drive. What would have been a touchdown.
The Eagles appear uninspired here in this first quarter. 1st down at the 26. And here is Beanie Wells. And Beanie Wells gets a couple. Jamar Cheney makes the tackle. So you wonder which team is going to come through first, because Eagles on 4th down and 1 couldn't make it. And offensively, they've been totally out of sync, it appears. And the Cardinals missing a field goal, normally a chip shot for Jay Feely.
You're right, and if you're the Cardinals, you got to be kicking yourself for not taking advantage of the Eagles' woes thus far.
2nd down and 8. No scoring and not a lot of yards have been gained by either team. Skelton's pass. And a great catch made by Larry Fitzgerald. Still on his feet and knocked out of bounds at the 32 by Jaquan Jarrett. So faced with defenders, the ball gets over the heads of the defenders and a 42-yard play to Fitzgerald.
There's Larry Fitzgerald working against his good friend. He said, we're great friends, he and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, but not this week. He was excited about the matchup, and they took advantage of it. John Skelton knows you can just throw it up to Larry Fitzgerald because this guy will go get it. Great throw, great catch. Larry Fitzgerald's an all-pro.
Averaged 17 yards a catch this year. First down on the 31 of the Eagles. And here is Wells hit. And a good play by Cullen Jenkins, the former Packer. And he stops Wells for a loss of 3 on first down. Well, the Cardinals certainly have improved from their first half performance last week against the Rams. They're playing tougher competition on the road. But unless they get points, it won't pay off. Second down and 13. Here comes the blitz, and pass is incomplete. And it was Jamar Chaney knocking the ball away from Jim Dre, the tight end, who has had injury problems and starting today. And the Cardinals normally deep at tight end, but they're down to 2 with Heap and Housel out.
Third down's been an area coming into today. In the last 2 games, the Cardinals 4 of 19 on third down in their last 2 games. John Skelton, these Philadelphia Eagles, good matchup right here.
And they've got Fitzgerald and Roberts at the top of your picture. And now Fitzgerald in motion to the slot on third down and 13. And here is Skelton taking off. Tucks the ball in, and Skelton will go out of bounds, short of the first down, but certainly within field goal range for Jay Feely, who missed his first try, and Asante Samuel chasing Skelton out after a gain of 9.
John Skelton, he'll do this. He was the second leading rusher for the Arizona Cardinals, a big man, but the guy can move. He had a run of 14 yards, ran for 40 yards last week. He can get up and go. The Eagles do a nice job of getting to him before the first down.
So this will be a 43-yard attempt by Feely after missing one from 35 earlier in the first quarter. And this kick is no good, off to the right. So Jay Feely misses 2 field goals. And Ken Wisenhunt's team, for all of their decent play thus far, have nothing to show for it.
Ken Wisenhunt really hot right now because they're in position to have 6 points on the board. He's pulled 1, now he pushes 1. Jay Feely, usually dependable for the Arizona Cardinals, missed 2 blatantly today.
So here's the miss from 43, and the Cardinals really giving the Eagles yet another chance. And the Eagles have been unimpressed, and there you see Ken Wisenhunt's displeasure, and the Eagles take over on their 33. Still no score. 1:29 to go, and here's the handoff with Sean McCoy on the sprint draw, and McCoy gets it up for the first down. 14-yard pickup.
Well, this is what you call the sprint draw. Howard Mudd brought it with him from Indianapolis. Watch Jason Peters. He's going to invite the rush upfield, throws him upfield. Let's go get another one. LaShawn McCoy, you give him the ball in space, he'll make you pay. That's why he's the #1 rusher in the NFL. Great blocking up front. Great explosion by LaShawn McCoy. 9
touchdowns rushing, averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and a first down near midfield for the Eagles. Under a minute to go in the first quarter, and Michael Vick calls a timeout. So a timeout, and we've been talking about LaShawn McCoy, who's the top rusher on the #1 running team in the NFL.
And there's a common theme when you're around Michael Vick. You're going to have a really good rushing team because people have to account for LaShawn McCoy. But LaShawn McCoy, you look at it, rush yards #1, touchdowns #1, first downs #1, 20-plus yard runs. 3rd in the league. This guy is an outstanding back, having a great year.
And also, John, last week he had his best game as a receiver, catching 5 passes. So he gives this club a lot of weapons.
And they design runs that really take advantage of their skills. We saw Jason Peters, an athletic offensive lineman, down the field. You'll see them screen the ball throughout the games. Howard Mudd's brought an infusion of different plays to this Philadelphia offense that's been very successful.
First down at the 47. And a penalty marker down.
False start, number 62, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Rookie center Jason Kelsey. And a 5-yard penalty, and nothing will drive a coach crazy more than dead ball fouls.
Andy Reid said turnovers and penalties. That's what's been killing us as an offense. And they're penalties in critical situations. Right there, you start to get some momentum going, and you stub your toe, and you're back to 1st and 15.
Cooper and Smith are the wide receivers. First down and 15. And Michael Vick still looking for a receiver, and down he goes at the 39. Paris Lennon and Darrell Washington both tracked him down, and it's the first sack of the game by the Cardinals. And Vick loses 2 on the play.
And not much Michael Vick can do right here. What the Arizona Cardinals are doing, saying, all right, you don't have Deshaun Jackson, you don't have Jerry Maclin, we're going to sit. We're going to sit tight, we're going to cover, we're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and try to beat us. One of these wide receivers has got to win in their one-on-ones. Right now, they're not doing it.
So they have Cooper, Avant, and Smith after losing Maclin to injury. And there is LaShawn McCoy, and he is tripped up. Shy of a first down by several yards. He'll pick up 13. Darrell Washington making the tackle, and may be the last play of the first quarter. McCoy has gained 26 yards and has averaged 6.5 yards per carry. And that'll be the end of the first quarter here in Philadelphia. No score between the Cardinals and the Eagles. And Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Beginning of the second quarter, Dick Stockton, John Lynch, Jennifer Hale. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Eagles. And pressure, kickball, and incomplete. As again, one of the Cardinals, and it's Darrell Washington who's been doing it the entire quarter. Came in strong on Michael Vick, bringing up 4th down.
Well, Darrell Washington, an outstanding player right here. He's unblocked the blitz. You got a hot throw. Cardinals do a great job. If you're not going to get there, get your hands up. They're making Michael Vick pay. They're hitting him. They're covering well. Good job by the Cardinals defense.
Eagles 0 for 4, John, on 3rd down, and Vick 1 for his last 8 for no yards. So Chaz Henry will be punting to Patrick Peterson. Fair catch. Peterson at the 14. It's been a game of drop passes, mistakes, missed field goals. And waiting for some team to break out. Ken Wisenhunt and Andy Reid in a rivalry that has been dead even down through the years. Arizona's missed 2 field goals, and the Eagles with penalties and 2 3-and-out drives. Now John Skelton from the 15. Hand off to Wells. And Wells brings it out to, well, nearly a 4-yard gain on the play.
Cardinals doing a nice job, as I said earlier, Dick. I think the weakness of this Philadelphia Eagles defense is in the middle. They aren't strong up the middle. They play that wide 9 technique where they're going to get their ends extremely wide. What do you do as an offense? You run it right down their throat.
And you have to keep going that way. This is going to be a play-action pass, and just beyond the reach of Larry Fitzgerald. For a game break, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, after spotting the Steelers a 14-0 lead, the rookies lead the Bengals like they have all season. Andy Dalton hooking up with A.J. Green on a 36-yard score. That made it 14-7. And the Bengal defense just picked off Ben Roethlisberger, so they're knocking on the door for more. Dick and John.
How about that story, the 6-2 Bengals?
Those 2 rookies right there have been impressive. Andy Dalton and A.J. Green.
It'll be 3rd down and 6. Empty backfield. And there comes the flag. And it was Jason Babin. And it appears it'll be against Babin. Can we read lips? We don't need to. 93. It was Babin once and Cole earlier in the game, who jumped off on a similar play.
You got to be disciplined as a defense, and Andy Reid talked about it. The penalties, not so many. They got the 10th fewest in the league, but at inopportune times. Last week it was Jason Babin running into Jay Cutler down after they got off the field in the red zone. It turned into a touchdown. Penalties will kill you. This team's struggling because of them.
Cardinals are going to call a timeout.
Arizona.
They need 1 yard. That's what that penalty did for them. It'll be 3rd down and 1, and trying to improve on their 1-for-5 performance thus far on 3rd down.
This is sponsored by the Miller Lite Home Draft. Taste greatness. By the Droid Razor. Thin is no longer frail. Only at Verizon. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
And following a Cardinal timeout, 3rd down and 1. Beanie Wells back in the game. And here is Wells. Beanie Wells getting the 1st down as he crosses the 30, as Mawita with a good block. And a 6-yard pickup for the 1st down. And good news for the Eagles. Jeremy Maclin is back behind the Eagles bench. Went out, as Jennifer Hale reported, with a right shoulder injury after he was down in the 1st quarter. Meanwhile, the Cardinals 1st down on their 30. Slant off the hands, incomplete to Jeff King. That pass was simply off the mark to the tight end. So it's 2nd and 10.
John Skelton, you got to just continue to hang in there. You're running the ball with some effectiveness. You're having success with Larry Fitzgerald outside. Just keep hanging in there. You're a young quarterback. You've got an opportunity. You're really controlling this game as a football team and as an offense thus far.
Skelton from Fordham in the Bronx, one of the boroughs in New York, has never played in Philadelphia. Excited to be here for the 1st time. And the handoff to LaRod Stevens-Howling, but Kurt Coleman, the strong safety who's played superb football for the Eagles early on, knocks him back for a loss of 2.
One of the frustrations in Philadelphia was the lack of blitzing. You're going to see Kurt Coleman come right off the corner in their backfield. Remember, this is a town that had the late, great Jim Johnson as a defensive coordinator. These fans are used to blitzing. They haven't seen a lot of it. They've adjusted today. We're starting to see it.
Chester Taylor, a 3rd down back, is in for Arizona on 3rd down and 11. There's Larry Fitzgerald moving into the slot to the right. Skelton looking that way immediately, getting a big pass rush. Escapes and then is ridden out of bounds by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And the 1st time that the Eagles have been able to get to Skelton, a loss of 7 yards, and that'll bring up 4th down.
And a really nice job of coverage by the Philadelphia Eagles. You watch them all. John Skelton does a nice job of escaping, buying time. I would tell John Skelton that right here, when you've got Larry Fitzgerald on Jose Leo Hansen, I throw it up. I give him a chance. With Larry Fitzgerald, it's a little bit different. If he's covered, he's not really covered. Throw it up and give him a chance. And I think Larry Fitzgerald's telling him that on the sidelines right about now.
So on 4th and 18, Dave Zastadil will be kicking, and Steve Smith. And a flag is down. Penalty marker down at the 17. Ball getting away from Smith, and a loose ball. Ball bounced off the foot of Smith, and they're signaling that the Eagles have recovered. That's the preliminary signal. But there's the penalty flag back at the 16.
That mishandling the ball, Dick, you go back. Deshaun Jackson's their normal punt returner. Jeremy Maclin was replacing him. Both those guys out, you're going to your 3rd punt returner. So there are repercussions of Andy Reid's decision to sit Deshaun Jackson, and they have to find a way to get over those in a hurry. The Eagles jumped off sides. That's what the penalty is, and Ken Wisenhunt has a decision. If he wants to make them re-kick, you probably take the ball right here.
Offsides, number 57 of the receiving team. That penalty is declined. Be first down. Timeout.
And the fumble recovered by Joselio Hansen of the Eagles. Timeout on the play. First time that Skelton has been knocked away without getting it off. Either quarterback has distinguished himself thus far. Of course, Skelton is the backup. 4 of 11, but Vick 3 of 10. 0 for his last 8. And the Eagles on their 33 fake the handoff, and here's Selleck, the tight end, on the screen play. And Selleck gets into Cardinal territory. This has been a very popular play to just about everyone. A 20-yard gain for Brent Selleck on the screen from Michael Vick.
Well, Dick, we were talking at the break. I said it's time to get your screen package. Your receivers are letting you downfield. This is something that the Philadelphia Eagles do better than anybody in this league. Their screen package. They'll screen to Selleck. They'll screen to Macklin. Screen to LaShawn McCoy. They do it to everybody on this offense, and they do it very well.
First down on the 47 of Arizona. And here's Michael Vick, and ball batted by David Carter, the nose tackle. Back to school. We're going to teach something here about what the Eagles do, John.
Well, here's their screen game right here. Brent Selleck, we just saw that play. It's something they do extremely well. You give the ball to Jeremy Macklin. Their offensive linemen move incredibly well in space. You watch Jason Peters. Here's the sprint draw we saw earlier. Get one. Go ahead, block for LaShawn McCoy downfield. Get the ball to your players in space. Good things happen.
And the sprint draw doesn't go this time as Michael Adams swallows up LaShawn McCoy immediately, and a loss of 6 yards. So McCoy stopped for the first time in the game. He has carried 5 times for 20 yards, and it'll be 3rd and long for the Eagles.
They haven't converted a 3rd down today. 0 for 4. And it's something the Eagles typically do very well as an offense, but you put yourself in 3rd and long situations, it's tough to convert.
They didn't even convert a 4th and 1. They've had a couple of 3rd and shorts, haven't done it. Now it's 3rd down and 16. And Vick with a shallow cross. Selleck putting a great move on. And down at the 40 of the Cardinals. He won't get the first down. Shy by about 3 yards. Sam Acho, the rookie from Texas, starting for Joey Porter at outside linebacker. So it'll be 4th down, 13-yard pickup. And Andy Reid, who went for it on 4th and 1 earlier in the game, not taking that chance here. And Chaz Henry will come in to kick.
I bet you one thing they won't do with Chaz Henry, have him throw a pass here. That didn't work so well.
Saw that one. Here's Patrick Peterson. Hasn't been able to get free. The Eagles' punt coverage has been superb, and a fair catch called for by Peterson at the 6. So a good punt that time by Henry, backing up the Cardinals, and good defense by Acho preventing the first down for the Cardinals. Philadelphia lost a great sports legend. Joe Frazier passed away last week. A decent man. Cardinals backed up their worst starting field position of the game, the 7-yard line, and Beanie Wells driving forward. And it was Kurt Coleman down low, Jamar Chaney up high, but a 5-yard gain on first down.
And that's about what the Eagles have shown as a defense. They give up 5 yards a carry coming into this game. It's something they have to address. They're young, they're smaller at the linebacker position. I think it hurts them. They don't have a Brian Dawkins anymore to come up and fill as a safety. Kurt Coleman doing his best. That's the weakness of this defense.
Cardinals a lot of ways outplaying the Eagles. Nothing to show for it with 2 missed field goals. 2nd down and 5. Skelton intercepted. And Asante Samuel will run it in for the touchdown. And that's all it takes. Most interceptions in the last 6 years. A 20-yard return on the interception And the Eagles break the log jam on the scoreboard.
Well, they needed a big play, and Asante Samuel gave it to him. Watch Asante Samuel does this better than anybody. He's not looking at Larry Fitzgerald. He's looking in the backfield. He's studying John Skelton. He breaks on the football. That's what Asante Samuel has done as a member of the Patriots, as a member of the Eagles. He's a game-changing player as an off corner in this league. 44 career interceptions now for Asante Samuel.
And the Eagles take the lead on a defensive touchdown. And that's the 5th career touchdown off of interceptions for Samuel, plus 4 more in the playoffs. Alex Henry with the extra point. And the Eagles, with 9:35 to go in the first half, have taken a 7-0 lead. Costly pick thrown by John Skelton.
If you're John Skelton, you made one mistake trying to throw it to your stud. You got to find a way to put that behind you. I trust Beanie Wells. You see John Skelton frustrated. He's got to know that Asante Samuel's that kind of player. He's going to sit back, look for you to make a mistake. And John Skelton's got to find a way to rebound.
Especially when you're backed up inside your own 20.
The tough thing that they've had, Todd Heap's been hurt. He's a guy they brought in to have something other than Larry Fitzgerald in the passing game. Todd Heap's inactive today. Larry Fitzgerald there. One of these other receivers, Andre Roberts, Doucette. Somebody got to step up other than Larry Fitzgerald, and John Skelton's got to trust in them.
Well, the Cardinals have played just well enough to lose this year. 2-6. They've lost 4 games by a total of 11 points, and they've lost some of these close ones to tough teams at Baltimore, at Washington, and home with the New York Giants. And Asante Samuel celebrating. It's about him right now.
And he should be. Yeah. He should be. He made a play, put some life in this stadium. This stadium was dead. It was a 0-0 game. Kevin Cobb, a former Philadelphia Eagle. John Skelton said that Kevin talked to him this week about playing in Philly, about the fans being rowdy. They've been quiet thus far, but he may have just got them rowdy.
LaRod Stevens howling deep. Alex Henry will kick off, and the Eagles taking a 7-0 lead. You mentioned the fact that the Eagles are the kind of team that can run off a long winning streak to get back in the race, but they have never made the playoffs after a 3-5 start. Stevens howling, coming out from about 6 yards in the end zone and takes it out to the 16. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see the Giants and the 49ers. Some will see the Lions and the Bears. Check your local listings. Coming up next, 2 division leaders. What a game out in the Bay Area.
Excellent football game. The 49ers surprising everybody. Jim Harbaugh at the helm. Alex Smith playing as well as anybody. Eli Manning establishing himself as an elite quarterback. He's got another opportunity to do that today.
And how about the Giants and what they have done, especially coming off the big win against the Patriots. And a great start for Eli Manning. First down at the 16 for the Cardinals. Skelton, and he completes the pass at the 22-yard line to Jeff King. And the tight end will move the chains, and it'll be a first down for the Cardinals. You know, the Eagles, of course, coming in 3 games behind the Giants, and what a tremendous game between 2 hot teams. You don't often get 2 teams hot at the same time. We have it next.
Well, 2 teams from big cities. I mean, this is old school. I think back to the 1990 NFC Championship game. This is good stuff. Leonard Marshall hitting Joe Montana. I'm looking forward to that game.
First down at the 29. And the slant pass is caught by Andre Roberts. And Roberts gets 9 yards. Bringing up 2nd and 1. So it is indeed a great matchup coming up next. And Frank Gore, you know, the Giants have to concentrate on Gore, who has gained 100 yards or more for 5 straight games. Been a key to this club. And very few mistakes by Alex Smith.
That's what Jim Harbaugh, his offenses, they're going to run the ball effectively, and they're going to stop the run on defense. Tough to run the football on the San Francisco 49ers.
2nd down and 1 on the 38. They go to Beanie Wells. And Wells may have enough, edging his way for the first down. Cheney on the tackle. For a game break, here's Kurt Menefee.
Falcons and Saints. Jimmy Graham had a couple of drops in this game earlier, but he makes up for it with a touchdown reception, wide open from Drew Brees. Then slam dunks it through the goalpost, delaying the game for a little bit while they straighten it back out. Saints on top, 10-6.
You know, obviously, John, a long way to go in this game, but New Orleans may be getting into the form they want to be right now.
Yeah, they're playing great, as is Atlanta. That's a big-time football game down there as well.
First down at the 40. Taking a handoff is Skelton and overthrows Reagan Mawia, who is starting at fullback in place of Anthony Sherman.
I like what Ken Wisenhunt and play caller Mike Miller have done thus far in this drive. Your young quarterback, your second-year quarterback, just had a tough interception. They're putting him in position with quick throws. They're protecting him. They're running the ball to Beanie. Try to earn back the confidence of John Skelton.
And percentage throws at that. Second down at 10. Beanie Wells looking for room, finds it. Good move by Beanie Wells. And Kurt Coleman on the play, but not before Beanie Wells gets a first down into Eagle territory at the 49. Good run by Wells, who has carried now 13 times.
You see Beanie Wells. Beanie Wells, an explosive runner. His knee looks much better today. He's cutting strong. He's a strong runner. He's going to take people with him. And Larry Fitzgerald, he doesn't just catch passes. He takes great pride in being a complete wide receiver.
Wells averaged over 100 yards a rush the first 3 games, has tailed off because of the knee injury since, has 33 so far today, and a first down for Arizona. Skelton getting time. Breaks down, and the pass, trying to get it to Chester Taylor. As the protection broke down, Akeem Jordan and Derek Landry came in on Skelton. That'll bring up second down and 10. Here's Wells trying to cut to the outside and ridden out of bounds by his former teammate DRC Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, picking up 2 yards, so it'll be third down and 8 with under 6.5 to go in the half.
Well, Rodgers-Cromartie having a tough day covering receivers. But you talk about being a complete player. Watch him here on the finish. This big boy in Beanie Wells, he takes it right to him. Larry Fitzgerald did tell us about Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, the best athlete I've ever been around other than Randy Moss. High praise coming from Larry Fitzgerald.
Third and 8. Skelton's pass, and it's caught by Roberts. And a flag is down. It'll be a first down pending the call inside the Eagles 40. Good for 10 yards. They needed 8.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 58, defense, contact with force to the quarterback's head. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And second time they tack more yards on. Trent Cole called for roughing the passer.
See Trent Cole coming in on Skelton, and you see Walt Coleman. He said if you go to the quarterback's head with force, they're going to call it every time. Walt Coleman right on top of it. Tough for those defensive linemen, but that's the rule. They're all over that one each and every time.
Eagles have been penalized 5 times. Arizona yet to commit a penalty, and it'll be a first down at the 22 of the Eagles. So yet another opportunity for the Cardinals offense. And on the end around, it's Andre Roberts. And Roberts will get a first down just shy of the 10-yard line. And picking up 11, Akeem Jordan on the tackle.
Well, you've been pounding the football right up the middle. You show the run up the middle, and you come with a reverse to Andre Roberts. Good design by the Arizona Cardinals. Nice running by Andre Roberts.
And and some good blocking as well. First down just outside the 10-yard line. Arizona with the edge in the ball control, but trailing on the defensive touchdown by the Eagles, 7-0. This is the deepest penetration, and here is Skelton's pass. It's caught. Touchdown to Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald on a nifty pass from John Skelton, and the Cardinals have come back to 7-6.
Yeah, and a tremendous bounce-back drive for John Skelton and the Arizona Cardinals right there on the touchdown. A great job of pumping to his left, bringing the attention that way, then coming back to Larry Fitzgerald. Watch John Skelton. He looks to his left, he pumps, and he's going to hit Larry Fitzgerald on the drive route.
Fourth touchdown catch of the year by Fitzgerald. An 11-yard play. Thiele with the extra point ties the game at 7-7 with 4:48 to go in the first half. And the Eagles in this first half getting a battle on their hands from the Arizona Cardinals. And we're back here in Philadelphia as Skelton did a pretty good job of bouncing back from that interception.
And you've got Roll, the linebacker, on Larry Fitzgerald. Not a good matchup. And again, you have Nnamdi Asomugha. You brought in Nnamdi Asomugha, all that money. Great job by Skelton manipulating the coverage. But that's a tough assignment for Brian Roll to lock on Larry Fitzgerald. You've got Nnamdi Asomugha. Again, I said it earlier, hot dog coverage. Put him on him and let him track him wherever he goes.
And he tied the great Roy Green with his 69th career touchdown. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie on the return from the kickoff. Cromartie, following his blockers nicely, gets good yardage as he comes close to the 30-yard line. 29-yard return and gets kudos. So Michael Vick, who struggled early, now 5 for 13 for 54 yards, leading the Eagles with 4:40 to go in the first half.
They've got to find a way to get him going. You know, he started the game, I think, right on point. You don't have DeSean Jackson. Macklin's not out there. They drop balls on him. He got to find a way to work himself through it, get himself back and productive in this game.
Now Macklin is back on the field. And on first down, pressure coming on, and the screen pass to LaShawn McCoy. And McCoy picking up 8.5 yards. Michael Adams, the nickelback, making the stop. Good gain on first down.
And I think this is the way that Andy Reid, how you get Michael Vick back and in rhythm. You invite the blitz, Darnell Dockett, you let him come upfield, and then you throw right behind him to LaShawn McCoy. Those offensive linemen get out as they do so well. They're an athletic offensive line. Get your ball players the ball in space.
2nd and 1. Flip pass and off the hands of Jeremy Macklin, incomplete. And now 3rd and 1.
These 3rd and 1s, I know, Dick, are a lot easier to convert than the 3rd and 10s we've been seeing him in all day.
Now the Eagles with 3 drop passes, 2 in the first quarter, and the Eagles still looking to convert their first 3rd down situation. They failed the first 5 times. They need only 1. Here's McCoy. Gets the first down and more. And stopped at the 49-yard line. Good burst, picking up 9.5 yards. And a first down for the Eagles, converting their first 3rd down of the game. Been a very quiet crowd all the way around. The only real cheer came when Asante Samuel intercepted Skelton's pass and ran it in for a touchdown. First down, another screen to McCoy, and McCoy slips. He saw the kind of moves that he could put on in the Bear game Monday night. This time he slips, picks up 4.
Well, LaShawn McCoy is one of those players that each and every time he gets the ball, you kind of hold your breath because you feel like he can go the distance. I would continue to feed him the ball. You need to get something going offensively. You put it in your best player's hands, and right now he's their best player.
McCoy has rushed 6 times for 29 yards. Has caught 2 passes out of the backfield. 2nd down and 6. Vick caught, and it should be a 1st down as Steve Smith is hit by A.J. Jefferson in the forward progress. For Smith will give him the 1st down at the 41-yard line of Arizona.
Well, we're talking about Steve Smith and these guys needing to step up in the absence of DeSean Jackson. It's not like he hasn't done it in his career. This is a guy who in 2009 had over 100 catches for the New York Giants. A very productive player coming off a knee surgery. Good fit for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And getting in rhythm. This time it's McCoy. And McCoy is stopped as he gets inside the 40. Picking up 3 yards, and we're going to see the clock get down to our 2-minute warning. A defensive touchdown by the Eagles and an impressive 84-yard drive by the Cardinals, all even. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. Kirk, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Whoever thought we'd ask this question? Can the Steelers pass the Bengals in the standings? And can the Cowboys wrangle the Bills? Was that an issue before the season started? Could have been shot. 2nd down and 6. 2 minutes to go in the 1st half. The ball is on the 38, and Vick taking off gets the 1st down. And a rodeo kind of tackle by Richard Marshall, the ex-Panther. 16 picked up by Vick.
Well, great execution and great design of the play call by Marty Mornhinweg, the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. You've got Michael Vick, who's an incredibly athletic quarterback. Go ahead and use it. Invite him upfield, split the middle, and a great tackle by Richard Marshall. If not, Michael Vick scoring.
And here is Vick on 1st down, and his pass intercepted in the end zone by Adrian Wilson. And a flag down at the 10-yard line. And Vick signals holding against the Cardinals. But let's see what Walt Anderson's crew reports.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 31, defense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Apparently Johnny saw it all the way. Richard Marshall called for holding.
Well, it's a shame for the Cardinals because Adrian Wilson made a fantastic play. He actually dekes Michael Vick a little bit, shows that he's covering Brent Selleck, then drops back. He fools Michael Vick. Michael's got to be more protective with that football. As he said, got to play keep away. The interception are what has killed Michael Vick in this Eagles offense this year.
And he picked up Steve Smith ultimately, so no interception, instead of 1st down on the 17 of the Cardinals. That's the 1st penalty of the game against Arizona, a costly one. Here's Vick, 1st down, getting close to the goal line, and tackled at the 3 by Darrell Washington. So Michael Vick, first with the quarterback draw, getting 16 and now 15 yards here. And it'll be 1st and goal with under a minute to go in the half.
We saw Michael Vick. I think that's something he has to do more. You see, he struggled in the red zone. Last year, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. This season, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's had a fumble as well. Got to protect the football down here.
And 1st down and goal at the 3. Nearly a half a minute remaining in the 1st half. Vick's pass. Did he catch it? No, he did catch it, but short of the goal line. He's about a half a yard shy. Jason Avant held on to the ball, picking up 2. And a timeout has been called by the Eagles, their 2nd.
30-second timeout. Please put 20 seconds on the game clock, please. 20 seconds.
What we have to look at, where is the ball when Michael Adams, the defender, actually touches Avant down. I think the officials got the call right. He doesn't stretch it out over the line of scrimmage until, over the end zone, until Michael Adams is already down by contact.
That was a good catch by Avant, because many times we've seen players unable to control the ball in that similar situation.
And a very nice throw by Michael Vick. You see Avant. I'll watch him. He's down right here. When does he touch? When he touches him, I don't think the ball's over the
Ruling on the
in
field.
line.
The receiver was short of the goal line. Previous play is under further review.
And so a booth review here As to the placement of the ball, they marked Avant a half a yard shy of the goal line.
And as you watch Avant, he's not down until Adams contacts him. You can't see right there. I think they got it correct on the field. That's my instinct.
So 19 seconds remain in the first half, and the Eagles close to going in to take the lead. Let's take one further look.
Right about there, he's down. In my mind, as I said, I think they got it right on the field. I think it would be Eagles' ball on the half-yard line.
And Mike Pereira, who is in our studios in Los Angeles, seeing this play with all of you, indicates that the call was correct. We'll see what the booth review tells us. As Walt Anderson is looking at the replays again. Want to again remind you the Visa halftime report coming up. Steelers and Bengals in a tough fight in the AFC North. The Cowboys going against the Bills. And what an AFC East race we have with the Patriots, the Jets, and the Buffalo Bills a surprise.
A lot of tight races, a lot of great football being played this weekend. A lot of games with big implications this early in the season.
And particularly here in the NFC, we have the Bears playing the Lions, and later on the Giants and the 49ers. The Eagles with no offensive touchdowns in their last 9 possessions. When was the last time we saw that? Well, it ties the longest streak this season. Rare for this club.
Rare, because this is a club that usually puts points on the board very easily.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It'll be second down.
Second down and goal, less than a yard. In fact, it looks like the length of a football to get to the goal line. And the key play was the holding penalty on Richard Marshall on the play in which Adrian Wilson intercepted in the end zone.
Perhaps we see Michael Vick's first rushing touchdown of the year right here. This is quarterback sneak area.
79 is eligible.
And eligible would be Todd Harriman's the right tackle, 79. Of course, we say if it weren't for the penalty, probably if it weren't for the penalty, maybe Wilson would not have gotten a hand on the ball. So here we go, second and goal. McCoy in for the touchdown. 1-yard touchdown. And he has been nothing but a touchdown machine this year. That is his 10th touchdown rushing of the year. And his 12th of the season. Came into the game tied with Calvin Johnson for the most touchdowns in the league. And a franchise record, 9th straight game with a touchdown. And of course, Philadelphia Eagle fans remember the championship teams led by Steve Van Buren back in 1947. Eagles taking the lead now, and Alex Henry looking to make it a 7-point advantage. And with 19 seconds left, the Eagles in front of the Cardinals 14-7.
Well, one thing that needs to be shown, this guy for the Eagles, Jason Peters, playing better than any left tackle in football in my mind. Watch what he does to Calais Campbell. Clears the entire area. LaShawn McCoy, easy running for him. Get behind the big boy and head downhill.
A 10-play, 70-yard drive that took 4.5 minutes. And the Eagles in front 14-7. And you wonder when a score like this is going to really open it up for Philadelphia to take charge of the game, because you thought they might have after the interception and then an impressive drive by the Cardinals.
You're starting to see some life in this team. Not a whole lot of rhythm offensively. I think they established it there. The Cardinals, though, we saw after the interception, they showed a great ability to bounce right back. We'll see if John Skelton, what he's made of. I love the way he bounced back after the interception return.
But it's hard with a backup quarterback to come on the road to play a team like this, which is hungry after a tough loss.
Oh, it's hard, no doubt about it. But I think John Skelton's saying, I'm not a backup. He's got his opportunity to go show that. You look at the penalty, he's got a shirt full right there. And it doesn't look like a whole lot, but when you grab a shirt, you grab a shirt. And the official was right on it.
And of course, that holding penalty, really, you could see allowed Wilson to get into position to pick that ball off. So, Larod Stevens-Howling returning this kick by Alex Henry, and it's short, picked up at the 18 by Andre Roberts. And Roberts will run out of bounds and stop the clock. There are 10 seconds left for Fox Wednesday. Don't miss an all-new episode of The X Factor. It's down to only 10 acts, and the competition is fierce. With a $5 million reporting contract at stake, the final 10 will give it their all as they perform live for your votes. The X Factor, all new live this Wednesday at 8, 7 Central only. And LaShawn McCoy, the X Factor. And look how he has risen in the touchdown department by season.
Fantastic football play.
Beanie Wells, and the clock will run out. That 19 seconds is stuck on that. The time has run out, and that will do it for the first half as the Eagles, with a late touchdown, leading the Cardinals 14-7, and we'll be back here in Philadelphia after these messages. Thank you very much. And the Eagles have a 14-7 lead. It was interesting that with that lead, and of course the two missed field goals by Jay Feely. And you know, the question: do you agree with Jimmy that the Eagles really haven't solved their problems in this first half?
Well, I agree with them completely. They certainly don't look like a playoff team today. They've been sloppy. I do think that they started to establish some rhythm on that last touchdown drive, and I'd be surprised if they don't come out and play much better offensively in this second half. All
right, well, the Eagles will get the ball first, and we want to remind you to follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. So there is John Skelton, who threw the touchdown pass, 10-yard toss to Larry Fitzgerald. Skelton was 8 of 18 for 111 yards, 1 TD and 1 pick. Andy Reid trying to start the ball rolling again. Thought he had with wins over the Redskins and Cowboys before the Bears upended him on Monday night. And of course, he's got the Giants next week. Giants have the 49ers, so the Eagles really obviously 3 games behind, but not out of it by any means.
No, they play the Giants next week, so you got an opportunity. You take care of business. New York's got a tough game today, and then you've got a showdown. You could be 1 game out in 3 weeks.
But if the Eagles were not to win today, that would really be...
They need to stick a fork in them.
Yeah. Here's the kickoff to start the second half. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie returning for the Eagles, and he is stopped short of the 20 as we send it down to Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, Andy Reid's message to his team at halftime: keep going hard. 1 play at a time, 1 down at a time. I asked him with those 3 drop passes if they were missing DeSean Jackson, and he just kind of shook his head. Over on Arizona's side, Coach Wisenhunt told his team, keep fighting, don't give up, make the plays in the second half that you missed the first half. He wants to see a defensive turnover, and he wants to see the end zone more. Dick?
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Well, 4 and 13 in the Eastern time zone, so for Ken Wisenhunt, just stay out of the Eastern time zone. That's what he's got to do. First down, and the pass caught by Macklin and hit immediately after a gain of 6 by Patrick Peterson. Taking a look at the Eagles' offense. Last drive was their most impressive, and this is why you think they may be in rhythm now, Johnny.
Yeah, I think there's an adjustment. Are they missing DeSean Jackson? Of course they are. But as I said in the open, Andy Reid made a tough decision. It's not just about being late yesterday, missing a meeting. It's about the way he's been playing. That can affect. It can be a virus to an entire team. He's got to go with these guys, and now these guys got to make plays.
Avant in motion. Vick gets away from a defender and runs right into Calais Campbell, picks up 2.5 yards. It was Darrell Washington. What a game, Darrell Washington. The One of the inside backers has had for the Cardinals in this game.
Well, and he had a tremendous one last week. 10 tackles, 2 for a loss. This guy's a game-changing football player. Talking to Ray Horton, the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, and Ken Wisenhunt, they're very high on, as well they should be.
3rd down and 1. Here's McCoy. Gets more than he needs. What a stutter step there. Gets out to the 35. 7 yards. First down, Eagles.
You know, Dick, I get nightmares when I see this because it reminds me of Barry Sanders. This kind of cut. You think you got him, and then boop, he's out the door. That is unbelievable running by LaShawn McCoy. This guy just having a terrific season and really one of the more entertaining players in this league to watch.
He's averaged more than 4.5 yards per carry, 41 yards in the game. Ronnie Brown checks in. And a first down at the 35. They give it to Ronnie Brown. And the veteran takes it to the 39. Paris Lennon, the linebacker, making the stop from behind, picking up 4.
You talk about the effect of not having DeSean Jackson. What it does, it allows the opposing defense to crowd the line of scrimmage. It allows them to crowd LaShawn McCoy because they don't have that speed threat outside that people are so cognizant of. Michael Vick's been told us on Friday, John, you wouldn't believe how deep the safeties. Well, I've seen it on film. They're playing 20 yards deep. It affects you not having a game-changing player like DeSean Jackson.
4 receivers in there, John, as Selleck, the tight end, goes out. And Vick ready to take off and loses the ball, and they're going to say down by contact as Vick back at the 35. And it was Darrell Washington.
You watch Darrell Washington, who continues to have an outstanding game. You see that knee down before he threw the ball, down by contact.
Loss of 3 yards and the second sack of the game by the Cardinals. And Washington with 6 tackles today. You talked about his big game defensively last week against the Rams. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Back at the 35. Vick all day, now taking off. And Michael Vick gets hit and is short of the first down by a yard. It was O'Brien Schofield who tackled him from behind. An 8-yard gain, 1 yard shy. What does Andy Reid do here?
Well, Ray Horton has had a lot of success with the 3-man rush. He's dropping everyone into coverage, really not giving Michael Vick any options. Michael Vick turns it and goes to run. I'm not so sure if this is not a fumble right here. No, good call. He's down by contact.
And the Eagles will kick it away. Chaz Henry and Patrick Peterson back deep, standing at the 10 for Arizona. Low kick that will bounce and picked up on the hop by Peterson, but nowhere to go with the sideline so near, and he goes out of bounds at the 18. Philadelphia Eagles with the luxury of a 7-point lead, but Larry Fitzgerald remembers his TD catch. 4 to come.
Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost. By Visa, more fans go with Visa. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie on his way to the locker room. Joselio Hansen is in as the nickel back. First down. 3 receivers for John Skelton. Tackled from behind for a loss of several yards. Trent Cole got him. Mike Patterson also got in there, and the second time the Eagles have gotten to Skelton, he loses 11 on this play.
Well, what happens to John Skelton right here? They try to take advantage of Asante Samuel sitting on routes. Asante Samuel doesn't go. And John Skelton gets sacked now.
Second down. And 20 inside the 10. And the handoff to Beanie Wells. Wells bursting out. Stopped shy of the 20. Brian Roll. And gets 11 of those yards back with 5 minutes elapsed here in the third.
You Talk about halftime adjustments. The Arizona Cardinals went in and said, Asante Samuel's going to sit on routes. We're going to take advantage of him. And a credit to Asante Samuel. He didn't go for the double move. Larry Fitzgerald ran a quick out. The route he intercepted earlier, Asante Samuel was sitting there waiting, saying, come on.
Cardinals with 67 yards rushing, 3.5 per clip. 3rd down and 8. Skelton's pass, and it's caught by Larry Fitzgerald, and a 1st down out to the 36. Kurt Coleman on the play, and 16 yards to Fitzgerald, who caught the lone touchdown pass, and a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Holding number 73, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Jeremy Bridges, who has been alternating with Brandon Keith at right tackle, nullifies the big play that got him out of trouble, but not so fast.
Not so fast, and that really hurts. You get a big play, getting yourself out of your territory, getting the ball downfield, and Jeremy Bridges comes up with the hold, just devastating to this offense.
Now 3rd down and 18. And here are the Eagle fans looking for the kill on defense. Skelton flips it out to Jeff King. And King works his way up to the 15-yard line, a 5-yard gain. And that'll bring up 4th down as we check in with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, Rogers Cromartie walked off into the locker room without his right shoe on. It turns out it is an ankle injury. Right now he's having some x-rays on that ankle, and we will keep you updated on his return to the game.
All right, Jennifer, that's why Joselio Hansen got a chance to play the nickel. And Dave Zastadil will be punting. Jeremy Macklin is back deep at the 40-yard line, and a flag down and a false start penalty will be marked off against the Cardinals.
False start, number 56, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Reggie Walker.
It was the Eagles with all the penalty troubles in the first half. Now the Cardinals coming out and hurting themselves early in the second half.
So Macklin moving up a bit to the 45. Eagles looking for good field position. Here's Macklin, good spin move. Jeremy Macklin going out of bounds, and good field position indeed near midfield. Here is the Eagles putting pressure on John Skelton, playing in place of Kevin Cobb today.
Now imagine yourself, you're Michael Vick, and you got to throw over this guy. Look at King Dunlap, 6 feet 10 inches, tallest starting guard in the NFL, the history of the National Football League, playing inside at the guard, going against Calais Campbell, who's no short guy himself at 6'8".
He's the tallest starting point guard in football. That's what we want to know. 1st down, handoff is to LaShawn McCoy. Changes direction. And McCoy getting 6 yards. LaShawn Johnson, King Dunlap.
Look at this is why he can play at guard. You know, there's an old saying in football, low man wins. King Dunlap, it's tough for him to do, but he does get down, get low. Andy Reid said we're going to play him in there because he can handle it. He's smart. King Dunlap's held up well today.
Playing against 6'8" Calais Campbell. 2nd down and 4. Vick dumps it off, and the screen, and read well by Darrell Washington. No gain. Kurt Menefee has a game break.
Michael Vick's old team, the Atlanta Falcons, in a big one against the Saints. Look at Matt Ryan keeping it alive, and check out Jason Snelling battling his way into the end zone for a 21-yard score. Puts the Falcons on top, 13-10. That one in the 3rd quarter. Dick and John Strahan still salivating about facing a 6'10" offensive lineman.
I bet he is.
Don't blame him. Been a tackle all his life. Starting his first game as a guard, 2nd career start. 3rd down and 5 at midfield. Trying to put on pressure with Adrian Wilson, and Vick fires it away, and the Cardinals are claiming intentional grounding as O'Brien Schofield storming in on Michael Vick and Wisenhunt. And there goes the flag, finally thrown.
Intentional grounding, number 7, offense. The quarterback was out of the pocket, however, the ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage. 10-yard penalty, it's a loss of down, be 4th down.
We heard Walt Anderson say the quarterback Michael Vick was out of the pocket, but the ball does have to get back to the line of scrimmage. It's where the ball lands. And they're absolutely right. It does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by the referee being right on it.
John, they lost 17 yards on that one, and they started with their best opening position since the game has started. So Patrick Peterson returning the punt. Chaz Henry will kick it away for the Eagles. Still a 1-touchdown game. No scoring yet in this 3rd quarter. Good kick. And the flag is down. Not sure if it hit an Eagle in the foot before the ball bounced into the hands of Peterson. John Skelton preparing for the next offensive series.
During the return, holding number 31, receiving team. The 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down. Timeout.
Richard Marshall.
If you're Michael Vick, you got to deal with Darnell Dockett and the officials. Michael Vick having a rough time of it here in Philly.
By Verizon. Download NFL Mobile only from Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
Cardinals have the ball on the 14, 1st down, 6:22 to go in the 3rd quarter. 14-7, the Eagles in front. Skelton taking off after looking right and dives forward, close to a 9-yard gain.
That's one thing. He continues to impress me. This kid's mobility. He tucks the ball, understands he can't throw the ball into coverage, gets positive yards. John Skelton, he does some things very well, Dick.
And John, you know the Cardinals are getting opportunities because of what their defensive play has been today.
Their defense is playing outstanding. Really, this is a unit that under Ray Horton, he brought that Pittsburgh defense in. They're improving each and every week. A lot of young players playing at a high level. 2nd
down and 2, play action. Here comes the pressure on Skelton. And this pass incomplete, intended for Jim Dre. Came into the game. 29th in pass defense, have limited the Eagles to only 75 yards, but it's up to Skelton and the offense to see if they can get back in trailing by 7.
Well, Juan Castillo's bringing the blitz pressure today. Chicago kind of came up with the blueprint. All right, your defensive line's so successful, we're going to keep guys in, and you can't get there. Well, the way you beat that is you add numbers, you blitz. The Eagles hadn't done it prior today a whole lot. Today they're doing it and being effective with it.
3rd down and 2 from the 22. Skelton goes down, gets hit by Derek Landry, and Landry has been a presence here the last couple of plays. 3rd sack of the game, and the Cardinals lose 7, and again we'll have to punt.
Here's Derek Landry. Right there, Jamar Chaney comes with the pressure. He's unblocked. You always protect the middle pressure and leave the guy on the outside. A breakdown in the Arizona offense. John Skelton pays the price for it.
Jeremy Maclin. And again, the Eagles looking for good field position. Fair catch called for at the 37. And the Eagles will have good field position. And there is a penalty flag down. Late flag.
There is no foul for offensive holding. It was after the fair catch was made.
You got it right. That's the idea. Landry getting his hit on Skelton. The Eagles with the ball. Back in Philadelphia, get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL now. Eagles on their 37. McCoy, the running back, in motion to the right. Vick up the middle. Intended for Avant. Flag is down at A.J. Jefferson. And will be called for the push.
Pass interference, number 20. Defense. First down.
And a good call by the official. Watch A.J. Jefferson right here. He's going to hook Jason Avant with his left arm. Going to hook him, restrict his ability to go get the ball. The official's right on it. Good call.
Cardinals had a big opportunity in the first quarter. Jay Feely missed 2 field goals. It was scoreless, and then the Eagles scored on a defensive touchdown. Samuel with an interception as McCoy gets the first down. So Michael Vick, who came on with a splash and did a terrific job in his first year last year with the Eagles, but has struggled somewhat since.
Yeah, he has. And here's the difference right there, the turnovers. I think in many ways, Michael Vick, prior to today, really playing well. I think above the neck, he's better than he's ever been. He understands this offense. He understands defenses. The problem's been the turnovers, and today he's being let down by his receivers, and he's missed some throw. Hasn't looked good today, but throughout this season, he's played well. The numbers don't reflect that, though.
First down, and here is McCoy off to the right side. McCoy with a great fakes, subtle fakes with his shoulder, getting the job done, and Calais Campbell, the defensive end downfield, makes the play after 29.
There's nothing subtle about the production. Watch Todd Harriman's the right tackle with the key block, and then you get this guy in space. As good as Darrell Washington is, good luck. LaShawn McCoy, big-time runner. Jeremy Maclin just getting in the way of Patrick Peterson. It takes everybody to run the football well, but LaShawn McCoy in space is tough to deal with.
And the longest run from scrimmage, first down on the Cardinal 22. Dion Lewis is in the game and gets the pitch. And Lewis is wrestled out of bounds by Adrian Wilson. Kurt Menefee with a game break. Kurt.
Well, after Atlanta scored to take the lead, the Saints came right back. Drew Brees hooking up with Robert Meacham, 33 yards on the touchdown, and the Saints regained the lead late in the third quarter. Right now, it is 17-13 as they're ready to start the fourth. Dick and John.
John, it's hard to keep the Saints off the board. Huh?
No, it is, and it's good to see Sean Payton back down on the line of scrimmage. Yep. Two very well-coached football teams with the New Orleans Saints and Sean Payton and Mike Smith and the Atlanta Falcons.
Second down and 8. Dion Lewis remains in the game, the rookie from Pittsburgh. Play action for Vick. And Vick's pass is caught by Brent Selleck. And they stopped Selleck about a yard short of the first down. It was Darrell Washington that time. So third down and 1 upcoming for the Eagles.
Andy Reid, Marty Mornhinweg in this offense. Look at the play action by Michael Vick. He's going to play as if he's booting to his left. Brent Selleck kind of hides in there. Right about there, Michael Vick finds him. Great job. They're starting to identify their playmakers, and their playmakers today are McCoy and Brent Selleck. Those two guys, I keep feeding them.
And so LaShawn McCoy comes back in at third down and 1. And that would be a first down if it's against the Cardinals.
So many people moving, it's going to be interesting to see who they choose to call it on.
False start, number 82, offense. 9-yard penalty, still third down.
Well, they called it on their blocking tight end, the Eagles' Clay Harbor. Very close.
And a great job with the hard count by Michael Vick, but his guys have to hold the water.
There it is.
I'm surprised right there because Nick Eason, the left tackle, defensive tackle, I think jumps first, which in turn drew Clay Harbor off the ball.
So now third down and 6. 4 wide receivers checking in for the Eagles. Short drop, Vick's toss, and it's picked off by Calais Campbell on the interception. Calais Campbell gets a hard pass right in the middle, and he held on to it. And the Cardinals stop the Eagles' drive and take over. The first turnover of the game by Philadelphia.
Well, Calais Campbell, he sits back, he reads Michael Vick's eyes and makes an incredibly athletic play. Cardinals defense playing great. Well, when you're a defensive lineman and you make your first career interception, you want to do nothing more than tell all your teammates about it. Incredibly athletic play by Calais Campbell. And you look at Michael Vick, I wonder, I'm not saying this jokingly, could he see behind King Dunlap, who's 6 feet 10 inches?
First down at the 17 off the turnover. Skelton's pass, and it's caught in stride by early Doucette, who gets a first down. First catch of the game by Doucette, and Jarrett knocks him out of bounds after a pickup of 18.
Turnovers continue to really hurt this Philadelphia Eagles offense, particularly inside the red zone. Michael Vick's got to be better protecting the football.
Brian Rolle is the Eagle who is shaken up. Rolle, the weak side linebacker for Philadelphia, hurt. Macklin was hurt earlier. The wide receiver came back into the game, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and we have not seen him since then. The interception, talk about the 6'10 King Dunlap in front of you. How about the 6'9 guy who picked the ball off?
You look at the play, look at the perspective. All right, you're Michael Vick, you're going back. And you got the King right there, right in front of you. That's a moving screen in the NBA right there. I don't know how he sees, and just what an athletic play by Calais Campbell.
And Jennifer Hale had a chance to talk to Calais Campbell, so let's get down to her. Jennifer?
Yeah, Dick, Calais Campbell versus King Dunlap. You might think you're watching an NBA matchup instead of the NFL. I got to speak with Calais before the game, and he told me how much he was looking forward to facing Dunlap. He said he's normally used to looking down at his matchups. He was really looking forward to actually being able to look someone in the eye. This is a battle of leverage for Calais. He says at 6'8", he's an inch or two shorter than Dunlap. He's hoping that's going to help him get down just a little bit lower, be able to get underneath Dunlap's pads and have the advantage. Dick?
Thank you, Jennifer. So the injured player Rolle.
Calais Campbell really having a breakthrough year. He had the field goal, the blocked field goal at the end of regulation to send it into overtime for the Cardinals as well. Really a breakthrough player. 5 sacks on the season.
So Rolle is out of the game. Extra defensive back in at 1st and 10. And there is the screen to LaRod Stevens howling. Kurt Menefee, another game break. A lot going on, Kurt.
Yeah, there is, including Rashard Mendenhall getting his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day for Pittsburgh. Fights his way in from 9 yards out, and the Steelers retake the lead from the Bengals. 24-17. They start the 4th quarter right now. Dick and John.
That looked like some Chuck Noll football, Kurt.
The trap plays with the running. That's what they look like in the AFC North, as the Ravens and the Bengals 6-2, Steelers at 3rd at 6-3. 2nd down and 1, and there is Skelton going out, completing the pass to Jeff King, and the tight end with the first down gets to midfield. The former Panther, tackled by Trent Cole, working on Brian Rolle on the sideline, as the Cardinals get 5 yards and a first.
And I continue to be impressed with the offensive adjustments the Cardinals are making to help John Skelton out. They're getting the ball out of his hand very quickly. When he holds on to the ball, the Eagles are getting there. So what do? You get the ball out of his hands quickly with short throws.
Fitzgerald, by the way, 2 catches for 52 yards and the 10-yard touchdown reception. Beanie Wells on the inside handoff, going outside, trap, and finally Kurt Coleman catches up to him, and they'll lose a couple.
And if you're Beanie Wells, you're a downhill runner. Don't run side to side, east to west. Run north and south. Because when you're going east and west, this is a fast defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. Best way to get them is to go downhill. He's going sideways, playing right into the Philadelphia Eagles' hands.
You know, you're right about the comment about the adjustments by the Cardinals. In fact, after the interception and return for the touchdown, he led them on an 84-yard 10-play drive for the score. Came right back after that interception by Asante Samuel, run in for the score. 2nd down and 12. Here comes pressure everywhere, and the pass incomplete to early Doucette. 2 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Talk about the pressure. Watch Brandon Graham right here loop around. He's going to bring pressure right up the gut on John Skelton, along with Jaquan Jarrett. Skelton misfires off his back foot.
The numbers for Skelton, 3rd down and 12. Again, pressure, and had to get rid of it in a hurry, trying to get it to Chester Taylor, but had no chance. And that is the end of the third quarter. The Eagles lead the Cardinals 14-7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Start of the fourth quarter, and the fair catch called for by Jeremy Macklin, and the Eagles will have it inside the 15-yard line. Dick Stockton along with John Lynch and Jennifer Hale. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, you remember, went out with a right ankle injury, not going to return. And now the moment of truth for the Eagles, who have lost fourth quarter leads in 4 of their 5 losses, and here they are leading by 7 here.
Yeah, and you want to change that? Go ahead and do it. You've got another opportunity. You're up by 7 in the fourth quarter. Finish a game. That's what this team needs to get better at. San Francisco, Buffalo, all these wins. The Giants, the losses, they were ahead. You got to be able to finish in this league.
From the 13, Vick on the play fake. Taking off, and Vick will get the first down and bumped out of bounds, and the flag will go down. Late hit by Darrell Washington.
And I know what Darrell's thinking. This guy's running a 4.340, and I'm supposed to somehow lay up. He really doesn't hit him. He kind of runs just contact, but they're going to protect quarterbacks in this league. I don't necessarily like the call, but they'll call that every time.
And they'll mark it at the 42. So a 14-yard run and then a 15-yard penalty. So the Eagles with a first down at the 42. And a 7-point lead starting this fourth quarter. No scoring in the third. Vick. And a good catch and then a hit. Steve Smith hit by Michael Adams, but gets 3 yards.
Steve Smith, you just saw Michael Vick saying my bad to Steve Smith because he let him right into the fire. And Steve Smith on the other side, he's got to sit. You've got a zone route, you're running a shallow pass, sit in the zone. You keep running, you're running right into contact. Michael Adams deliver the hit.
2nd down and 7. And the Eagles will use a timeout here.
Charge timeout.
Their first.
Philadelphia.
Sponsored by Pizza Hut. Right now, get any pizza for just $10 only at your Pizza Hut. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
You know, those are members of the Skelton family, and the youngster in the Cardinal hat in white is Jack Morrison, who's the son of Fran Morrison, our producer, has dancing moves we'll never see from Fran. 2nd down and 7 after the timeout called by the Eagles. Pass incomplete to the tight end Clay Harbor, covered by Paris Lennon.
I'll tell you what, Dick, we've talked a lot about the Eagles' inability to move the ball successfully. You got to give some credit to Ray Horton and this defense for the Arizona Cardinals. They're really playing well. They're not giving them easy throws. There's tight coverage all over. They're mixing blitz with 3-man rushes. Ray Horton and this Arizona defense really coming along nicely. Patrick Peterson on the outside and these young corners playing at a very, very high level.
Darrell Washington has been outstanding in inside backer. Calais Campbell with an interception. 3rd down and 7 for Vick. He's looking for a receiver and doesn't find one, and this catch by Macklin will be out of bounds, and Patrick Peterson on the coverage. But the Cardinals really didn't give him a chance going against the grain for a left-handed thrower on this one.
And they're really, Patrick Peterson all over him. Macklin getting frustrated down the field. You always got to stay alive when Michael Vick's in the play. They're making Michael Vick pay. Darrell Washington all over the field. This Arizona defense, you got to give your respect to them. They're playing great.
And Patrick Peterson hasn't done much as a punt returner, mostly because of the coverage by the Eagles. And I think the story is going to be here, can the Cardinals mount an offense against the blitzing Eagles? That's what's worked for them in the second half. Directional kicking all the way, and here is Peterson at the 10. That's been the story. Kudos to the Eagles special teams on the punts. Akeem Jordan that time. You know, John, you've been talking about the Cardinals defense. They have played well, but the Eagles defense, look what they've done in the second half.
And they're getting stronger right now. But here's their test. Like I said, you've given up in your 5 losses, 4 of them in fourth quarter leads. Great defenses. You don't allow people to come back. You step on their throat. We'll see if the Eagles can do it.
Cardinals have a long way to go, starting from the 11. Beanie Wells up the middle, and Wells takes a couple of Eagle defenders through the first down out to the 22. And Coleman and Jarrett, 12-yard gain. Good run by Wells.
Very good run and very good blocking. The Eagles continue to come with the pressure. And one way to beat pressure, you run right at it. And they ran right at it with Beanie Wells, and he carries the pile for a big first down.
57 yards rushing for Wells on 18 carries. And that was his longest rush of the game. A first down to the 23. Fake to Wells, pass upfield, 2 defenders, and the catch is made by Fitzgerald. The deflection and great concentration by Larry Fitzgerald. Jaquan Jarrett got a hand on it first, 29 yards here.
Well, this is forcing a football. Jaquan Jarrett should have had an interception. But look at the concentration by Larry Fitzgerald. Continues to stay with the football and really one-hands it with his right hand. Jaquan Jarrett, the rookie, got to hold on to that football. Those are the type of things you do to finish people off.
3 catches, 81 yards for Fitzgerald. First down, Beanie Wells. And Beanie Wells gets back to the line of scrimmage. Akeem Jordan making the tackle. Still early here in this fourth quarter. Don't forget the America's Game of the Week. Giants and 49ers coming up next. Eli Manning leads the NFL with the best rating for a fourth quarter passer. And the 49ers have not allowed a rushing touchdown all year.
Talking about fourth quarter, Dick. I love what you called it, the moment of truth. And here's that moment of truth for this Eagles defense. Who's going to step up and make a play, or are you going to allow them to come back and take over another lead?
Second down and 10, looking one way, passing the other, incomplete to Fitzgerald. Asante Samuel defending, and time to check in again with Kurt Menefee. Game break.
See if you can wrap your head around these numbers. Tim Tebow, 2 of 8 passing late in the fourth quarter for the entire game. 2 of 8. But one of them a 56-yard touchdown pass to Eric Decker. They're up 17-7 in Kansas City. Dick and John, 48 runs, only 8 passes in the game for Denver.
Isn't that what Tebow's all about?
That's what John Fox loves running the football. I don't know if he wanted to run an option offense, but that's what they're getting.
Meanwhile, third down and 10 for the Cardinals on the 47 of Philadelphia. Here comes the pressure, tipped, incomplete, and it was Kurt Coleman getting a piece of it, but a flag thrown down in midfield. And it may be against the Eagles.
I think it's on Nnamdi Asomugha lined up offside in press coverage.
Offsides, number 24, defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Nnamdi was on our side of the field, and I'm looking down there saying he's offsides. He was across the line of scrimmage in press coverage on Larry Fitzgerald. Larry's off the ball, and the official right on it.
Third time the Eagles defense had been called for an offsides penalty. So now 3rd and 5. A lot more manageable than it was before. Let's see if the Cardinals can capitalize on it. Skelton has time. Needs a target. He has one, and it's Fitzgerald, and it's a first down. Jarrett defending a 10-yard gain. And hanging in there nicely was the second-year quarterback, John Skelton.
Well, Larry knows that, listen, John Skelton's not Michael Vick, but he does have the ability to extend plays. And what you do as a receiver, you stay alive. Fitzgerald works towards the near line of scrimmage once Skelton scrambles. An excellent football player who continues to plays hard every play, and that's what you get. A guy like Deshaun Jackson could learn something from a guy like Larry Fitzgerald.
On and off the field. First down at the 33. Fake handoff to Wells. Good fake by Skelton. And the pass is caught by Andre Roberts, and out of bounds he goes at the 13. It'll be another first down and 20 yards on that play. And the Cardinals are driving, looking to get the tying touchdown.
And you got Andre Roberts going in motion. They're going to bring him cross country all the way back across. And you talk about the moment of truth again. Brian Roll, an opportunity. Get a little bit of vert, and you pick that ball. Instead, it goes over his hand into the hands of Andre Roberts.
This is beginning to look very familiar for the Eagles. But the Cardinals still trailing by 7. The ball on the 13th. Here is Beanie Wells, and Wells, hard driving runner, carries defenders almost every time he carries the ball. Picks up 7.
This is what you love about Beanie Wells. This guy is going to run hard, and it's the yards after contact. Take a look at what Brian Roll's looking at. If you're a linebacker, you got to bring it to him. Brian Roll gets run over right there by former Ohio State alum Beanie Wells.
Eighth play of the drive, second down and 3. And the tip into the hands, touchdown Fitzgerald. 2 big receptions off of deflections on this series. And Fitzgerald with his second touchdown catch of the year, plus the earlier one he made. Good for 7 yards. And the Cardinals are an extra point away from tying the game.
You got to make the plays when you have an opportunity. Great instinct by Jose Leo Hansen, but make the play. You got a touchdown instead. Touchdown the other way. When you got the opportunity, you got to cash in. The Cardinals do, the Eagles don't.
And Jay Feely to tie the game with 9:18 to go. And so every time the Eagles come back and score after a scoreless third quarter, the Cardinals have been impressive. This was an impressive drive. 89 yards and 8 plays to tie the game.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Stunned crowd here in Philadelphia has seen the Cardinals tied up the game. And with his 70th career touchdown, Larry Fitzgerald breaks Roy Green's mark. He was tied with him for the new franchise record. And 4 for 5 for Skelton on the drive. 3 of the completions to Larry Fitzgerald. Dion Lewis is back for the kickoff and will run it out from 6 yards. Good return by Lewis. Gets it up near the 30.
Well, they always say football is a game of inches. Here's what they're talking about. An inch away from deflecting a football. Andre Roberts gets the ball. But then the big one on this drive, Jose Leo Hansen, an opportunity to take it back. Pick 6 the other way. Instead, tips it. Larry Fitzgerald, great concentration once again. And remember, this whole drive started when Nnamdi Asomugha was offsides on a 3rd down in which they would have been off the field. Mistakes and missed opportunities for the Philadelphia Eagles.
8 penalties against the Eagles, some of them critical ones. And here's Vick going deep for Macklin. Unable to hold on, and Patrick Peterson defending. And Jeremy Macklin, that was a good throw by Michael Vick. And a flag throw.
Illegal hands to the face, number 71, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
On top of that, the left tackle Jason Peters called for illegal hands to the face. And an Eagle is shaken up down at the 15-yard line. The Eagles have been outscored by 43 points. That's the biggest gap in the fourth quarter this season, which points up their 3-5 troubles, despite the fact that statistically you would think that they were amongst the best teams in the league.
They're the number 3 offense coming in, the number 12 defense. Typically that translates into a team that's 5-3 or 6-2. But when things get tough, this team this year hasn't played well. In the fourth quarter, it's a quarter that you've got to own if you're going to be a successful team. And instead, they've been owned.
Macklin was the injured player. Now back to the sidelines. There's the points. What's happened in the fourth quarter, that's been their problem all year. First down and 20 after the penalty against Peters. Vick. And this one is incomplete. Steve Smith did not have control.
Steve Smith hasn't played a lot of football with Michael Vick. Not a perfectly accurate throw, but a throw that you've got to bring in. He's bobbling as he goes out of bounds. Ball being bobbled. Doesn't have control until both feet are up. Good call by the officials once again.
Second down and 20. Smith starting today with Deshaun Jackson. Didn't attend a meeting yesterday and was ruled inactive by Andy Reid. Second down and 20. Here comes the safety blitz. Wilson, they pick it up. And this one is intercepted by the Cardinals. They get it back, and it's Richard Marshall. And Marshall gets it back. And this crowd, disgusted right now with their reaction here in Philadelphia. They do that here in this city, by the way. And that is the second interception by the Cardinals. They get it back in a tie game. Andy Reid is challenging the ruling on the field that this is an interception, claiming that Marshall lost possession of it.
And remember the rule. Remember the Calvin Johnson rule. You've got to control the ball throughout the process of the catch. Marshall has the ball, and if you watch, you continue till the very end. The ball comes loose right there. Now, when does that process end? That's the question. That's what Walt Anderson's going to be finding out underneath the hood.
That's really the issue.
It's not till the very end. You know, that's the question. I was at the official seminar, and I think it's a one. There's some vagary in the rule is when does that end? There's got to be some element of time, and when does that end? That appears to everyone at home. That's a catch, but it's through the process of the catch.
And are you doing things common to the game? Do you still have a chance to do something with that ball after the catch? Mike Pereira, what do you think?
Yeah, they're just looking now the fact of this whole process, like really John said, to go into the ground, and you have to maintain control of the ball after you hit the ground, and that's what they're going to be looking at. You know, there is an end of the process at some point in time, so the ground does not cause the ball to come loose there, and so really what Walt's going to look at is this portion here of the ball getting out when that arm hits. You know, I think you look at that and say that's probably enough to reverse it to an incomplete pass.
Thank you, Mike. Dick, nobody better than Mike Pereira. It's so nice to have him here because sometimes I don't know. And Mike was in that role for so long and gives clarity. But I think in an issue like this, there's some level of judgment here. When does the process end? Well, only Walt Anderson can answer that here today.
Right, and I think Mike and Walt Anderson have seen similar plays enough times that they say, well, I see this, I remember this, and I know what this would be. He did not have maybe control as he was rolling over. Here's Walt.
After reviewing the play, the defender in the act of going to the ground did not maintain control of the football. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 20 from the 20-yard line. Please put 8:55 on the game clock. Philadelphia will not be charged with a timeout.
I tell you, home field advantage, Dick. You and I had the scoreboard operator caught that. Andy Reid looks up at the scoreboard.
Exactly
and they froze it right at the end of that catch. Otherwise, you're on the road. I promise you, they don't show that.
It was a foregone conclusion of the interception. All of a sudden, you look up at the big scoreboard and you see the ball lying underneath Richard Marshall. Andy Reid saw it and then dropped he didn't even have to throw it far. He just dropped it in front of him. So no turnover and no timeout charge to the Eagles. It'll be 3rd down and 20, however. Back on the 20 for Michael Vick and the Eagles. And Vick dancing around. Completes out to the 35, and no first down as Steve Smith is stopped about 1.5 yards shy by Darrell Washington, who's got to be the defensive MVP for the Cardinals no matter what happens in this game. So now it's a 4th down and about 1 yard.
And a great job by Darrell Washington. But you're Steve Smith. You got to have some sense about you. Darrell Washington's a bad dude, but you're close to a first down. Not a way to endear yourself to these Philly fans. Disgusted with Steve Smith right about now, and rightly so.
He just dropped right there.
You got to fight for first down yards, and he doesn't.
So that's where knowing where the sticks are. So now 4th down, and Chaz Henry will be punting to Patrick Peterson. That was an easy opportunity for Smith to get the yardage. Peterson has been stymied today. At the 20, here's Peterson. Flag is down, back at the 25. And whatever he does, it appears that will be coming back. That was a 31-yard return, but the penalty will be against the Cardinals. Ken Wisenhunt dissents.
During the return, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 45, receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, be first down, Arizona.
That would have been a 41-yard return. Instead, the Cardinals will have it. Let's see where they mark it. It'll be inside the 15. Reagan Mawia.
Watch it. It's right here. Rashad Johnson. This is, they've included.
Correction on the number. The football was on number 49. 49 of the receiving team.
49 Rashad Johnson. Now they've included guys covering punts as defenseless players. They felt like Rashad Johnson went to his head. Clean block, did it in front, but they feel like it was too high.
Lost 38 yards as a result of that penalty. First down at the 13 for the Cardinals. Here's Wells. And Wells gets about 3.
Wells doing such a nice job now in this second half of yards after contact. He's really driving those legs hard, and those yards, they count. Arizona, 86 yards in the 4th quarter. Really starting to establish rhythm in this 4th quarter. The Eagles have to answer.
50 yards more than what the Eagles have achieved. 2nd down and 7. Here's Skelton putting it up for Fitzgerald, but way beyond him. And it'll be 3rd down and 7 for Arizona.
And you go back to that pick 6 with Asante Samuel. They're again trying to take advantage of his aggressiveness with a double move. They had him. John Skelton makes a good throw here. You got a touchdown, Arizona. John Skelton misfires. Can't miss those.
So now 3rd down and 7 for the Cardinals, playing with their backup quarterback today. With Kevin Cobb, curve toe, unable to go, the ex-Eagle, and now the Eagle fans are loud.
Move Larry Fitzgerald inside to the slot.
Skelton's pass, intercepted. Nnamdi Asomugha picks it off in Cardinal territory. Big turnover in this game. And the second interception thrown by Skelton. The first one resulted in a touchdown.
Well, to finish people in this league, your best players have to step up and make plays. And watch Nnamdi Asomugha. A very instinctive play, drops his coverage, comes off the throw intended for Doucette. He overthrows in this league, turn into interceptions. Great play by Nnamdi Asomugha.
his third interception of the season. And so both of the interceptions thrown by Skelton have been in the red zone, his own territory. And now the Eagles in a tie game. Big advantage with just under 7 minutes to go in the fourth. First down on the 26. McCoy wrapped up. 1 yard. Higgins leading the way.
This Cardinals defense, they keep answering the call. They're not going to give the Eagles easy touchdowns, easy yards. Michael Vick, I'd keep it in LaShawn McCoy's. He's been your best target today. I'd design something to get the ball to LaShawn McCoy in space. The problem is all the Arizona Cardinals know that as well.
McCoy 81 yards rushing, including a touchdown, and 3 yards, 3 catches as a receiver. Second down and 10. Play action. Vick taking off and gets inside the 20. Shy of the first down by about 2.5. Paris Lennon and Vick shaken up, it appears.
That hurt Michael Vick. The hit by Paris Lennon looks like he got him right on the hip. Michael Vick's hurt. That's the end of this play. That's the problem with mobile quarterbacks, is can they take the hits? They're not accustomed to taking them like running backs are. And Michael Vick, he's hurting on that field right now.
And especially mobile quarterbacks who aren't big, like a Cam Newton or a Josh Freeman. They're more vulnerable. We'll take a timeout.
And Michael Vick, he's been taking a beating today. You're taught as a defensive player, a quarterback wants to run, you make him pay. The Arizona Cardinals have delivered on that, and there's the hit. Almost like a kidney shot that hurt Michael Vick.
So Vince Young is in there now. He threw an interception on his only pass of the year at Washington, as Michael Vick came off on his own power, and he comes in on a third down play. Third down and 3, and they hand off to McCoy, and he stopped short of the first down. Good play by Richard Marshall. And that will bring up fourth down and about 2.5.
You watch, they're keying on this guy. You know Vince Young probably on his first snap's not going to throw the football. Marshall comes off the edge, makes a big tackle. Richard Marshall, nice play on LaShawn McCoy.
And the Eagles send their field goal team in the game with 5:20 and running, trying to take the lead. It'll be a 36-yard attempt by Alex Henry. And Henry's kick is good, and the Eagles regain the lead 17-14 on Alex Henry's field goal after one play was run by Vince Young after Michael Vick was injured and came off the field. With 5:06 remaining, the Cardinals will get the ball back.
Michael Vick looking better, but certainly feeling the cumulative effect of a lot of hits on him today. He's had a tough day without the services of Deshaun Jackson. Jeremy Maclin went out at times. I think this Arizona defense has done a nice job of focusing on LaShawn McCoy and really shutting down this offense.
Well, McCoy has gained 81 yards rushing, John. Vick 71 yards in running plays, averaging over 10 yards per carry. So that's 152 yards from your running back and QB.
And I credit him, and I think he's paying for it now, but he's realized they're tight in coverage today. It's hard to throw the ball downfield. He doesn't have his primary target. Go ahead, run the football, use your legs, whatever you got to do to get a win. It may not be pretty, but the name of the game is to win. Got to hold on to this fourth quarter lead. Do the Eagles on defense to bring home this win.
Hasn't had Deshaun Jackson today, so LaRod Stevens howling back. Alex Henry, whose field goal put the Eagles in front. A little more than 5 minutes to go, and running it out is Stevens howling and tripped up. Eagle kick coverage has been exemplary today. And coming up next, marquee quarterback battles. Eli Manning and Alex Smith, only 2 interceptions going out on the West Coast. Matthew Stafford, Jay Cutler in the Midwest.
Those guys are all playing at a high level. Jay Cutler, we saw him against the Eagles on Monday night. Great quarterback matchups throughout the league.
And most of you will see that Giant 49er game. And the Eagles coming in 3 games behind the Giants. Looking for the win here and hoping the Giants lose to San Fran. Michael Vick limbering up a bit. First down at the 13. Skelton, quick pass, complete. Larry Fitzgerald, and the second effort will get him the first down. Hansen grabbed hold, but an 11-yard gain for the Cardinals.
This is a point where if I'm Juan Castillo, Andy Reid, Nnamdi Asomugha, you're following Larry Fitzgerald all over the field. He's with them now. He wasn't that last play. But go ahead, earn that money, Nnamdi.
4 wide receivers, and they go behind Fitzgerald. Incomplete. Let's check in with Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, Michael Vick's injury was basically got the wind knocked out of him and just had to get his breathing back underneath him. Jeremy Maclin, a different story. He's in the locker room with his hamstring. His return is very questionable at this point.
All right, Jennifer. So Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie and Maclin. Maclin's been hurt twice today, and Michael Vick looks like he'll be back. Second down and 10. Here comes pressure, and down goes Skelton. Jamar Chaney, who has developed as a leader quickly in his second year in linebacker.
Well, Jamar Chaney going to come right up the gut, and a good time for the first linebacker sack of the season for the Philadelphia Eagles. Prior to that, it had been all defensive line, but they made an adjustment. Pressure through the form of blitz for the Philadelphia Eagles has been very effective.
9-yard loss. That was the 4th sack of the game. Skelton has been under pressure. Not all sacks, but hurries, hits, and anything to get him out of rhythm. Third down and long. Skelton flips it, and Chester Taylor will be stopped short of the first down. And very close to making sure that Skelton made the pitch before he crossed the line of scrimmage. And apparently he did. That'll bring up 4th and very short.
A smart play. He's mobile, but he's more mobile. Go ahead, flip the ball to Chester Taylor. Let him do the work. Smart play by the Fordham graduate.
And with 3:22 to go and 4th down and 2, the Cardinals on their own 32, saying now has got to be the time to possibly keep this going. Skelton lost the pass, and it's caught for the first down by LaRod Stevens-Howling. A 4th and 2, and a touch pass by John Skelton gets them 31 yards. Big play for Arizona.
Great design. You've got man-on-man with Stevens-Howling on Jamar Chaney. Good throw by John Skelton. I was thinking to myself, Dick, I don't like the call. I think your defense has been playing well. Trust it. Then I said, great call, kid.
Well, it's like, no, 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 yes, right?
Yeah.
Done that a million times. So now a first down on the 38 of the Eagles. Beanie Wells back in and running back. Eagles lead by 3. 3:03 to go. Cardinals have all 3 timeouts left. And there's a pass up the middle, and that one will be incomplete. One of the few deflections that did not result in a catch. Hansen, a good job on Andre Roberts.
One thing I've very much been impressed with, same thing last week against the Rams. When the game's on the line, John Skelton demonstrates great poise. He doesn't look like the moment's too big for him. He looks like he's perfectly calm. He just put another strike on Andre Roberts that was dropped.
And you're right, he knows his offense pretty well. Looking for his first victory on the road. 3-2 is his record as a quarterback. Second down and 10. Here comes the pressure again. And the pass incomplete, intended for Stuckey. Good coverage by Brandon Hughes downfield. So now 3rd down and 10, and the ball is at the 38. So this field goal attempt will be beyond midfield if the Cardinals don't get any yards here.
Andy Reid talked to us. He said, in the 4th quarter, we can't be afraid to repeat plays. What's been successful for this defense? The blitz. On 3rd and 10, will they bring the blitz or stay back in coverage?
down and 10. The Cardinals need something, and they're going to go deep. And the catch is made by Fitzgerald, short of the goal line. 1 yard play, 1 yard line. Larry Fitzgerald extending himself, beating Jaquan Jarrett, and it'll be 1st and goal at the 1 by a super receiver here.
Well, look at this concentration. Look at this will to go get that football. What a catch by Larry Fitzgerald. You got Larry Fitzgerald on Jaquan Jarrett, a safety. Again, I'd have Asamoah all over him. Look at the concentration by Larry Fitzgerald. Let's see if he gets in. Down by contact right there. Good call by the officials once again.
And it'll be 1st and goal at the 1. Cardinals looking to take their first lead of the game, and the handoff is to Wells, and he is knocked back, so it'll be 2nd down and goal, and we'll have a break with our 2-minute warning. 1:59 on the clock. The Eagles by 3, but the Cardinals a yard away. This catch caps what has been a improbable, exciting game. Deflections, receptions, missed field goals, interceptions, you name it, and Larry Fitzgerald with 7 catches for 146 yards. But right here, 2nd down and goal from the 1. And here is Beanie Wells, runs right into a defender at the 6. A loss of 4. And for those of you in the home markets of our late games, in a moment you'll be leaving this game, and we will be switching you to the start of your contest. 3rd and goal.
This is the 2nd.
Watch Derek Landry, who's been impressive today. He makes this play right there. That get off, knocks the ball back, doesn't allow Beanie Wells, makes him run sideways. Great job by Derek Landry and the Eagles defense.
Moses Moku also involved in the play, and a loss of 4 yards. So timeout called by the Eagles. They'll have 1 left. How about the defense of the games coming up, John?
Now we're talking. Forget about these quarterbacks. We got 4 outstanding defensive players. Tuck, Willis, Sue, and Urlacher, as good as it gets, next on Fox.
Third down and goal. Now the ball at the 5. 11th play of this drive. John Skelton's pass underneath, touchdown, early Doucette, and the Cardinals take their first lead of the game. Thrown underneath to early Doucette, and John Skelton with an impressive drive, and the Cardinals take a 20-17 lead, and an extra point away of forcing the Eagles to get a touchdown to pull this one out. Jay Feely, and it's 21-17, 87 yards on 11 plays.
Dick, you started the 4th quarter with the moment of the truth. Who's going to show up? Watch Kurt Coleman talk about the moment of truth. He's got an opportunity to make a tackle in space and whiff. Early Doucette goes in. At the moment of the truth, the Eagles once again don't come up big. Got to be able to tackle in space. Had everything you'd want, ball in front of you. You've got to be able, as a safety, to go make that play.
And this pattern is uncanny for the Philadelphia Eagles, who have lost 4th quarter leads in 4 of their 5 losses. And unless they come back and score a touchdown, and they have 1 timeout left in 1 minute and 53 seconds, they will then suffer a 4th quarter loss in 5 of 6 defeats. And as we said, this is a game they needed to win to have any kind of a chance perhaps of making the playoffs. It would be their 6th loss.
And on top of it, you're going into a 2-minute warning without the services of Deshaun Jackson, who was deactivated today, without the services of Jeremy Maclin, who's been hurt today.
Skelton with 100 yards, and you say, how can that happen? Well, he lost some yards, and so he got other yardage back, 5 for 8 for 100 yards, and early Doucette with the big catch. And now Jay Feely will be kicking it off. Dion Lewis is back for the Eagles. Lewis will run it out from 4 yards. finally dragged down at the 19. Now the question is, Michael Vick, fourth quarter blown leads most in the NFL this season, had the wind knocked out of him in a critical point in which Vince Young came in, did not get the first down, and the Eagles had to settle for a field goal, giving them a 3-point lead. Now the Cardinals are up by 4. First down at the 19. Vick has time, going underneath, and completes to Steve Smith. Goes out of bounds and stops the clock at 1:40, 6-yard gain. Meanwhile, Michael Vick has other ideas. You talk about fourth quarter losses and collapses. He has 11 career game winning drives.
And the great thing about this game, you always have more opportunities. And as bad as it's been for Michael Vick and the Philadelphia Eagles, you've got an opportunity right now with 1:40 left, one timeout to go down, score a touchdown, and people forget that it was ugly the entire day. All they know is that you won the game at the end. Can he do it?
Second down and 4. And the whistle. False start against the Eagles.
False start, number 14, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And without Deshaun Jackson, and Macklin got hurt a bit today, and they've seen a lot of Riley Cooper and Steve Smith, and Cooper called for the false start. That'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Vick fakes, runs, and goes down a couple of yards short of this chain. Sam Acho, and an 8-yard gain, and here comes the hurry up. Under a minute and a half to go. It'll be 3rd and 1. Obviously 2-down situation for the Eagles to get the first down, but they need chunks of yardage. Caught by Steve Smith. First down up to the 42. Peterson on the coverage. So they get 14 on that play.
Dick, you can feel it. They need a little more urgency. They're moving as if they've got 2 minutes, 2 minutes plus. They've got 58 seconds with one timeout.
And a first down. Vick's pass dropped by Brent Selleck. So the normally reliable Brent Selleck cannot hold on to that one. Clock stops, but it's 2nd and 10 with 51 seconds.
It would have been a real tough catch for Brent Selleck, but again, you want to pull out wins, one you have to have. Good job by Paris Lennon, but Brent Selleck got to find a way to catch that football.
2nd down and 10. Eagles have dropped 5 today, and John is right, though. That was a tough play. But in crunch time, you got to make them. 2nd down and 10. Vick with time. Overthrows Steve Smith. And now it'll be 3rd down and 10.
One thing, I don't want to make excuses for Michael Vick, but Steve Smith, how much has he worked with him? Steve Smith, really his first extended action today. Deshaun Jackson not in the game. Jeremy Macklin not in the game. That's a timing route, and obviously the timing and accuracy weren't there for Michael Vick.
Smith hadn't played in the last 2 games for the Eagles. You know the injury problems he's had to fight. 3rd down and 10 from the Philly 42. Here is Vick. This one is caught. First down. Flag down as well, back at the 38. Steve Smith with the reception. Riley Cooper makes the grab. Good for 13.
They're going to get LaShawn McCoy for a hold.
Holding, number 25, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Talk about critical penalties. That would nullify a first down. Here it is, number 26.
Watch LaShawn McCoy. Michael Adams brings the pressure. He's going to hook him right across the neck. Not good for LaShawn McCoy, an outstanding player.
But credit to the Cardinals defense for Adams getting in there. So 3rd down and 20. Those games coming up next.
There you are on a 3rd and 20. And you're with your 3rd, 4th, and 5th wide receivers on your depth chart out there. Those are Michael Vick's targets.
You've got to get to the 48 of Arizona. Here is Michael Vick. And Vick overthrowing, and it is intercepted by A.J. Jefferson. And that'll seal the game. The 3rd interception thrown by Vick, and the Cardinals celebrating with 34 seconds to go. A.J. Jefferson with the interception. The pass overthrown intended for Steve Smith, and the Eagles have lost another 4th quarter game.
Well, 3rd and 20, A.J. Jefferson, you become a receiver at that point. Michael Vick, got to give your wide receiver a chance to go get the ball. But again, I feel for Mike Vick, without the services of Deshaun Jackson, without the services of Jeremy Maclin, Steve Smith out there, and A.J. Jefferson goes and seals the victory for the Arizona Cardinals.
And the Cardinals will take a knee. We want to credit our producer, Fran Morrison, and director, Greg Scopatoni, our associate director, Neil Gallo, broadcast associate, Eric Mandia, technical producer, Joe Stevens, and the technical director, Dean Crawford. Great job made by the technical and production crew here as the Arizona Cardinals break an 11-game road losing streak. They came across the country after breaking the 6-game losing streak last week against the Rams and beat the Eagles in a game the Eagles had to have.
They had to have it, and as Jimmy Johnson said in the pregame, go ahead and say it now, stick a fork in them, because their playoff hopes are virtually cooked right now.
In a very tough NFC, when you've got the Falcons and the Buccaneers and the Cowboys and the Giants, not to mention the Lions and the Bears, Ken Wisenhunt's team gets their 2nd straight win, go to 3-6 on the year, and with the Eagles losing, they too will drop to 3-6 on the season. So the Philadelphia Eagles with the lead into the 4th quarter and lose another. For John Lynch, Dick Stockton saying so long from Philadelphia. Final score 21-17.